What's good, my friends? Antonio Fletcher back again, and that means it's time for another video. Jaclyn Glenn is at it once again, this time giving commentary on Vice President Mike Pence speaking at the annual March for Life rally. By now, many of you have a pretty good idea of what to expect from Jaclyn Glenn, which is total nonsense. She and many other pro-aborts like her use common pro-abortion arguments they think hold water, but we're going to find out just how ridiculous they are. Let's decimate her worldview for the garbage that it is. And so with that said, let's jump into the video now.
Deeply humbled to be the first Vice President of the United States to ever have the privilege to attend this historic gathering.
Okay, so that clip was from a speech that Mike Pence just gave at the March for Life, because that's a thing that needed to happen.
Yes, Jaclyn, they have the March for Life every year. And every year they have certain keynote speakers. It just so happens this time around it was Vice President Mike Pence. And your point is?
I haven't made a video fighting for women's rights in a long time because, I don't know, I kind of thought we were at a point in our history where I wouldn't need to say basic things like people should have access to contraceptives and abortion should be legal, but I guess I was wrong.
As far as contraception is concerned, no rational person wants to take that away from women, Jaclyn. Pro-abort liberals like you constantly like to attack this straw man. No rational person gives a crap about what you do to prevent conception. What a lot of people care about, and this goes for those who identify as religious and non-religious persons alike, as I mentioned in my last video, is what happens after conception has already taken place. There is contraception, and then there is conception. Try not to get these two things mixed up in the same argument, Jaclyn. Confusing these things in intellectual dishonesty leads to attacking straw men.
Yeah, I mean, look, the last time I made a video about women's stuff was me ranting on feminazis. Actually, that's been like the last several videos, but apparently, I have to fight for basic rights now because Trump's president and that's not a thing anymore.
You are 100% wrong, Jaclyn. What liberals like you like to do is fight for non-basic privileges and disguise them as basic rights. For example, let's say a woman gets raped and then the argument is made she should have the right to choice in that situation, be it she chooses to continue the pregnancy and keep her child or get the termination. But let's say a woman rapes a man and gets herself pregnant. The only choice he would get is to try to pursue justice for what was done to him, but he doesn't get to make the decision to keep the child, even though she was the one who raped him. But if we flip the script, then a woman can not only pursue justice for what was done to her by the man, but she also gets to keep the child if she wants. So, if the woman is the victim, she gets to make the choice to keep or kill the child. But if the man is the victim, he does not and is at the mercy of the pregnant woman who raped him in regards to his own biological offspring. That's a non-basic privilege only for women. A woman has the right, at least in the United States, to not only kill her child in the womb, but to even give her child up without any negative consequences, typically within 30 days after the child is born. She's called pro-choice for these things, but if a man were to do something like this, like leave the mother and her kid, he could be considered a deadbeat and may even be subject to criminal charges, such as if he doesn't pay child support. A woman can get an abortion without having to worry about being charged for murder, but if someone else does it, like does something that causes her to lose her child, they can get charged with murder. Liberals like you, Jaclyn, are often not intellectually honest when it comes to distinguishing what rights actually are and privileges argued under the false pretenses of rights. You don't distinguish the two, and you're not very honest about these matters. But please do continue to tell us how bad you privileged liberal women have it.
So yeah, I have a lot to say about this, and I'm pretty fired up right now, so I'm going to play the speech and respond to certain points and try to not pop a vein in my forehead in the process.
I know we aren't that far into the video yet, but can we please have a moment of silence for her stupidity? Thank you. I really appreciate it. And now we return to our regularly scheduled programming.
We are, all of us, endowed by our Creator.
No, we're fucking not. Guess why? Because there's no God. I am a citizen. Me. I don't believe in God, so don't sit there and try to tell me that my creator has given me certain do's and don'ts when you're a fucking politician, because, I don't know, last time I checked there was supposed to be a separation between church and state. But politicians continue to do this. They continue to bring in Jesus and God, and he does that so much throughout this speech. Completely disregarding the supposed separation between church and state that's supposed to exist, but I guess it doesn't.
Alright, perhaps I jumped the gun too soon on giving her a moment of silence for stupidity, but if we keep giving her these moments of silence, then this video would literally go on for hours. First of all, you don't know there is no God, Jaclyn. You are known to make this claim quite often without backing it up. You cannot do this crap all the time and expect people to take you seriously. Let me just assert, there is a God. Argument over. I win. Is this seriously the stupidity she wants to engage in? Jaclyn has asserted in the past that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Now, it's no secret that I don't take that cliche seriously, but if I were to use her logic and appeal to that cliche, then saying there is no God is an extraordinary claim to make in itself. Where is she presenting evidence for that claim? Yeah, that's what I thought. Second of all, separation of church and state has nothing to do with making general claims about being endowed by a higher deity when you are a politician holding office. What that means is that the government cannot infringe upon religious liberty, and that no specific religious viewpoint is the basis on which government is run. We are not a theocracy. Pence isn't up there arguing to make Christianity law and punish people who don't subscribe to that view. I don't recall Jaclyn Glenn complaining about former President Obama saying, "God bless America," in certain speeches he made. By her logic, that's supposed to be separation of church and state, right? Hey Jaclyn, there is something called a clue. Get one.
With certain unalienable rights, and then among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. 44 years ago, our Supreme Court turned away from the first of these timeless ideals.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So right now he's talking about life, and he's saying life is being taken away because abortions. Now, I'm sorry, I don't view a tiny clump of cells as a human being, but you want to know what I do view as a human being? Women who have rights, like the pursuit of happiness and liberty.
I find it very interesting she says the unborn is a clump of cells, yet also said back in 2014 that nobody wants to be pro-abortion and nobody thinks that abortions are just awesome. Don't believe me? Here's the clip of her on the Rubin Report from 2014.
Because
ridiculous.
women love having abortions,
I mean,
right? I mean, I'm not a
there's
woman,
so much
but
fun,
right there,
No,
it's like really
it's horrible.
parties and.
It's a really touchy subject, and like I almost try to avoid saying that I'm pro-abortion and say that I'm pro-choice because no one wants to be pro-abortion. Like, yeah, abortions are awesome.
Yeah,
Right.
it's so funny.
First of all, it's a scientific fact that the unborn are human beings from conception, and this is true whether you hold to a religious foundation or not, as even pro-life atheists have acknowledged. Second of all, even if she wants to play semantics and say a clump of cells isn't a human being, then why would she admit abortion isn't an awesome thing and that nobody wants to be pro-abortion? If we are only talking about getting rid of a clump of cells and not really a human being, what could possibly be so bothersome about the idea? It definitely cannot be the fact that women are bothered about the procedure being dangerous, as pro-aborts say all the time how safe it is. A lot of pro-aborts engage in this sort of deceptive doublespeak all the time. A lot of these pro-aborts are the same people who will say crap like, "You kill tons of cells scratching your skin, so why are you so riled up over women aborting a clump of cells?" Well then I say, by that logic, women who miscarry and feel grief over it are arbitrarily grieving for no reason. I mean, what would they have to feel sad about? It's not like they lost a child or a human being, according to pro-abort logic like what Jaclyn is using. They just miscarried a clump of cells, right? If they don't feel grief when cells in or on their body die, such as when they scratch their skin, then why are they feeling sadness and loss over those cells? It makes no sense. There's tons of info about counseling in regards to miscarriage and even abortion. But let's see how much info you'll find about counseling in regards to killing skin cells scratching your skin. Probably not a lot. Pro-aborts literally sound stupid with the clump of cells argument and immediately subject themselves to all sorts of inconsistencies and absurdities.
You know, politicians throw around this word liberty. I don't know if they even fucking know what it means.
Yeah, Jaclyn, about the same way you throw out buzzwords and phrases like clump of cells and just throw out crap like saying there is no God.
In philosophy, it involves free will, and in politics, liberty consists of the social and political freedoms to which all community members are entitled. We're just gonna throw those last two out and complain about the one that we don't think that we have.
No, Jaclyn, wrong again. It's not that the last two are being thrown out, but that the whole argument on the pro-life side is about including the unborn into that definition. The only people who would throw them out are hypocritical pro-abortionists like you, who would say that women have rights, yet turn around and justifying the killing of unborn girls in the womb.
For your stand for life and for your compassion for the women and children of America.
That actually got applause.
Yes, that did get applause. And not everyone are murdering, justifying fools like you are.
You're trying to take away women's rights, and you have the audacity to stand there and say that you're doing this out of your compassion for women and children too. Like, as soon as kids are actually born, do you think most Republicans give a shit about them?
First of all, she keeps saying women's rights. She doesn't speak for all women. Not all women buy the pro-abort bullcrap that abortion is about women's rights. If she knew anything about the pro-life community, she would find that most of the time there are women fighting for life, not men, contrary to the popular belief of pro-aborts based on outright lies they haven't verified. And I know this firsthand from my involvement in the pro-life movement, as well as the countless plethora of stories of other pro-lifers who would say the same thing. Second of all, how would you know who and who doesn't care about born children, Jaclyn? Do you know the intimate details of people's personal lives to back that claim up? Didn't think so. Third, this stupid pro-abort argument has been used for years. Are you trying to insinuate that if you are pro-abortion, you don't have to give a crap about born children? Oh, one supports the right for a woman to get an abortion, then they don't have to give a crap about born children then, right? Let's have another moment of silence for your continued stupidity. Thanks again for another moment of silence, and now we'll return to our regularly scheduled programming. I don't see you making the accusation pro-aborts don't care about children. You're only making that accusation of pro-lifers. You couldn't be more intellectually dishonest, Jaclyn. Fourth and lastly, that is nothing more than a pathetic red herring you brought up to distract from the main pertinent issue. Is abortion morally justifiable or not? Your attempt to obstruct and distract isn't going to fly, Jaclyn.
President Trump reinstated the Mexico City policy to prevent foreign aid from funding organizations that promote or perform abortions worldwide.
Now, this point here is particularly terrifying to me. If you don't know what it is that they're referring to, this is called the Global Gag Rule, which bans health organizations around the world from receiving U.S. funding if they even mention abortion. So they can't give abortion services even if they provide other forms of contraceptive care. So these places are torn between either getting no funding for things like contraceptive care and STD prevention, or forcing people who are going to get abortions to go elsewhere and probably have it done by someone who's not a professional and could possibly die from it.
Boo-hoo, Jaclyn, cry me a river. People aren't going to get funding to kill babies. Pro-aborts used the scare tactic all the time that taking away abortion will force women into situations where they get one that is quote-unquote more unsafe and illegal. First of all, that is completely unrelated to the ethics of abortion itself, as whether someone would get a procedure quote unquote more unsafe or not has nothing to do with whether the act of abortion itself is morally justifiable or not. It's simply another one of the many common pro-abort red herring tactics. Second of all, if the abortionist performing the procedure is dependent upon abortion being legal to allegedly perform the procedure quote-unquote more safely, then perhaps from the pro-abort perspective, that person isn't worth their salt. If an abortionist truly cares about their patient, then they would see to it firsthand that regardless of whether abortion was legal or not, they'd see to it to have what they need for it to be safe, even if that means they had to break laws to do so. Quite frankly, I don't care about it being safe or unsafe. It doesn't matter to me how safe allegedly or unsafe abortion is. That is irrelevant. Again, the pertinent issue here is abortion morally justifiable or not?
You know, and what pisses me off the most about all this is all these pro-life people. If you're really pro-life, then you should be out there promoting condoms and birth control and other forms of contraception instead of teaching what most of these people do is abstinence. Just don't have sex. Well, guess what? That's not realistic. People are going to have sex.
Yet again, she engages in another red herring tactic. Whether people promote contraception or not has nothing to do with the act of abortion itself. It may be the case that someone does nothing to promote the importance of contraception at all, yet still be correct that abortion is wrong. At best, the pro-abort could just get upset that the ethics of that person doesn't seem right in their opinion, but then again, that is just their personal opinion, not an argument. The pro-abort can play these games all day if they want to, that if one were really pro-life, then they do X, Y, and Z. Let me play the same game and say, well, if you were really pro-choice, you would include the unborn so that that person will one day be able to make their own choices. But I bet the pro-abort wouldn't find that to be a very good argument, would they? If they reject that argument, then I can soundly reject theirs in regards to them playing the same stupid games.
Without publicly funded contraceptive services, there would be 40% more abortions each year in the United States. And the rate among teens would increase by 58%. Where's the fucking march for that?
And she continues with the red herring nonsense. What she is doing is called an appeal to consequences. That means that if one is given an argument that because of the consequences which will follow from a particular position, that therefore means it is evidence for or against said position in question. Let's assume for the sake of argument that what she just mentioned would follow. That still provides absolutely no evidence whether the act of abortion itself is morally justifiable or not. Have you noticed by now that most of this time she's just been trying to keep people distracted rather than actually giving an argument to justify the act of abortion itself? She's mentioned a plethora of side issues, probably because she realizes just how bullcrap her position is, ethically. Her position doesn't stand on its own merits, so she has to try to make it stand on side issues instead, which is intellectually dishonest.
And then people have issues with government funding things that they don't approve of. Well, guess what? I'm an atheist. I actually am an anti-theist. I cannot stand religion, but for some reason, churches are given tax-exempt status. I'm not okay with that. Oh, that's religion. It's on a pedestal. You can't touch that. Oh, you want freedoms and rights to your own body? Sorry, that's too bad.
Okay, alright. This is one of the dumbest points she's made so far in this video. Tax-exempt entities have absolutely nothing to do with government funding things, which take money out of the hands of people. Religious entities are tax-exempt, not government-funded. Being tax-exempt doesn't mean you still don't pay for your own churches. People just don't like money being unjustly taken out of their pockets. Comparing that to tax exemption is nothing short of stupid. I don't see her whining and complaining about liberal tax-exempt organizations like MoveOn.org. So Jaclyn, you can stop your whining and your crying, and also your fallacious comparisons.
You know, a lot of women who get abortions do so because they're not financially equipped to have kids. Over 40% of women who have abortions make less than $11,000 a year.
And who's taking even more money out their pockets? It's not crisis pregnancy centers, which are absolutely free. It's abortion clinics, which are not free. So you can stop it with your pathetic whining, Jaclyn, about money, because it's certainly not pro-lifers who want their money. A lot of women who had their children knew they weren't in good financial shape. But you know what they did? They sought out help from others. If you think abortion is a way to get women help, then women can get the help they need to take care of their child, assuming they don't want to adopt their child out. So in converse, they can get the help they need to take care of their child. They don't have to kill their child. As long as you are willing to help yourself, assuming you are physically able to do so, there will be others willing to help you as well. And especially here in the United States where we both live, Jaclyn, a mother can take her newborn child to a safe haven location if she cannot afford to take care of her child. She can also pursue open adoption, which is a fantastic choice. In an open adoption, she initially chooses the family she wishes to adopt her child, and she even gets to maintain contact with the family so she can see her child and doesn't have to be separated like in a closed adoption. A lot of mothers, including a personal friend of mine, have expressed the joy they have felt in what open adoption gave to them. The bottom line is, there are no excuses to kill a child. If I've said it once, I've said it a million times in this video. She continues to use these pathetic red herring excuses rather than actually attempting to justify her position. It really is quite pathetic and sad.
That's why this administration will work with the Congress to end taxpayer funding of abortion and abortion providers.
So why should the government fund it? Well, actually, you save money by doing that. Each tax dollar spent on contraceptive services saves an average of $3 in Medicaid costs for pregnancy-related health care and medical care of newborns. Without these services, federal and state Medicaid expenditures would increase by $1.2 billion a year.
Maybe it's just my ears failing me or something, but I thought I heard him say quite clearly funding shouldn't go for paying for abortions. He didn't say anything about contraception. The source she quoted spoke about money being saved for contraception, not for contraception and abortion. Also, I'm not even sure if the source she quoted is credible. The only place I found that information was on gutmarker.org. I found no other cooperating sources confirming that information. I'm not saying the information is false, but just saying that I found no cooperating information confirming it was true either. I'll just have to look into this info a bit further before I make any solid conclusions about whether it's true or false.
And let's not forget that 14,000 women have abortions each year following rape or incest. How could you seriously sit there and tell me that women do not deserve the right to have an abortion after they were raped or after they got pregnant as a result of incest? Most likely a combination of the two. How can you seriously say that a clump of cells has more rights than a woman that has gone through that? And on top of all of that, claim a position of moral superiority and act as though you're the one preaching compassion.
It's important to understand that most pro-aborts, and it seems obviously Jaclyn as well, isn't for making abortion illegal outside of cases like rape. The overwhelming majority of women going into abortion clinics go there because they chose to have sex and got pregnant at an inconvenient time, whether or not they use preventative methods. Their concern isn't truly centered upon reserving abortion for a severe and horrific case like rape. Their concern is for abortion being available in general, so don't fall for their manipulative appeals by hearing them use the rape argument. What I cannot stand about pro-aborts using the rape argument is that, as horrible as rape is, they conveniently ignore other emotionally difficult cases, such as in which a girl has felt pressured to have sex, yet ended up getting pregnant, for instance. Perhaps a girl felt pressured to have sex because she desperately wanted to belong in and fit with her friends. Perhaps a girl wanted to keep her boyfriend from leaving her, so she wanted to have sex in hopes he would stick around. I think there are a variety of social reasons in which a girl or a woman would be pressured into sex. While I'm not putting these cases on par with rape, they too can be emotionally damaging cases which lead to pregnancy. They don't want to see the pro-life perspective that emotionally damaging cases, ranging from being pressured into sex up to rape, aren't justifications for abortion. We need equal or greater emotional answers in response, which come in love and support for both her and her child, and showing her that her child is a blessing out of the horrific ashes of rape. The bottom line is that pro-abortionists are going to think pro-lifers are insensitive anyway, so them appealing to the rape argument is a weak and pathetic move. It's very, very sad and just downright just sick. They just jump straight onto the rape issue as their main point of attack because they are ethically insecure in their position and cannot justify it on its own merits. It isn't about pro-lifers allegedly being insensitive to rape, but about pro-abortionists disgustingly using it to justify their general arguments for abortion. Don't allow them to manipulate the issue emotionally by them stooping that low.
And that's why next week, President Donald Trump will announce a Supreme Court nominee who will uphold the God-given liberties enshrined in our Constitution.
They're not God-given liberties. Holy shit, will you cut the religion crap? And yeah, I know that's what he's gonna do, and it's terrifying.
Well, you're entitled to believe what you want, Jaclyn. As I said earlier, it isn't just those who claim a religious belief who are against abortion, so you might want to look into the secular arguments against your position. Just saying.
Life is winning through the steady advance of science that illuminates when life begins more and more every day.
Illuminates when life begins more and more every day? What the fuck? Doesn't make any fucking sense. What are you trying to... Okay, sorry. If Mike Pence says anything involving science, I just immediately get pissed off. He's a creationist who doesn't believe in evolution or climate change, which is awesome. But that's okay. He'll be in good company because apparently Donald Trump wants to pick a Secretary of State who has a company that is working to end their limits on carbon emissions because they don't think global warming is a thing.
Here's a newsflash for you, Jaclyn, and I know this might come as a shock to you. There are very intelligent people who have thought these issues through and disagree with you. Maybe if you spent more time cutting out the smug, elitist bullcrap, you might get someone to take you more seriously. Even if you are correct about everything you are saying, nobody is going to care to listen to you because you talk at people as if you think they are stupid when they disagree with what you believe.
This movement be known for love, not anger. Let this movement be known for compassion, not confrontation.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. That moral high ground thing really pisses me off. You want to sit there and tell a woman that she is forcibly going to have a baby, and she doesn't have a say in it, and also you probably don't want to provide her with any contraceptive care, but you're doing it with compassion. Sorry, you were raped, gonna have to have that baby because of my compassion.
Jaclyn had an inkling of a clue about compassion. Then she and the rest of her pro-abort girlfriends would know that it's not all about them. It's not all about just the woman who is pregnant. Jaclyn attempts to emotionally manipulate the issue once again, this time using the old stupid pro-lifers just want to force women to have babies argument. Just fire back at them and say, and you, pro-abort, want to force a daily procedure onto your own offspring who do not ask to be inside of you. So if you are going to play this game about force, then I can play it right back at you. Just use the same stupid tactics the pro-aborts use and force them to actually argue for their position on logic and reason, not on emotional manipulative tactics and red herrings.
And shows respect for the dignity and worth of every person.
Yeah, except for the respect and dignity that, I don't know, you should probably give women who want to make choices about their own bodies. Like, does he not see the hypocrisy here? No, he doesn't. He doesn't. You don't have to answer. He doesn't see it.
No, there is no hypocrisy, Jaclyn. Quit pretending like you don't have a clue and don't understand the pro-life argument.
That God, who gave us life, gave us liberty.
There is no God. He did not give us liberty. That is something that we kind of got together as a community and decided that people should have, through laws and things that religion should be not a part of, by the way.
It's obvious at this point she's just trying to cater to her atheist audience. She's not really even trying to argue anything at all. Just pandering. That's pretty much it.
And God bless you. And God bless the United States of America.
God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
So now she's going to resort to mocking the man's accent now? This is the reason why I am just so convinced that this chick is literally insane. There's just no reasoning with this woman.
I am so embarrassed that that guy is our vice president and that Trump is our president. I know people hate whenever I get political, but I cannot believe that in 2017 I have to sit here and make a video about why women should have the choice to do what they want with their own bodies. To me, that just blows my mind that that even needs to be said.
It's really sad and pathetic pro-aborts like you, Jaclyn, continue to complain about people wanting to control your body. Nobody gives a crap about what you do with your own body. It is the body inside you that is the issue. And it's quite ironic that you sit up here running your mouth and belly aching about people allegedly wanting to control your body, yet you sit up here and made a whole case about how it would be better for people to pay for women's birth control. So you want people to stay away from your body, but want people to pay for your birth control too? No. That is the height of hypocrisy. You can't have it both ways, Jaclyn. Get it together and get a clue.
Oh, and by the way, since I have to apparently sit here and explain common sense shit, you probably shouldn't be racist, because that's bad too. Sorry, I'm just really annoyed at that speech. I'm really annoyed with Pence, and I'm really annoyed with all of the religion that people keep trying to slip into politics where it doesn't fucking belong. Really annoyed with the constant fight for basic human rights. I don't know, like...
And there it is. When all else fails, play the typical racist card. Just throw out atheist talking points and pro-abortion talking points and liberal talking points and propaganda nonsense. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Devoid of any arguments, that's all these folks got. It's not hard to beat these people in a debate, my friends. It's not hard to just outright obliterate these people. Just pay attention to what they say, and it's quite easy to do. But anyway, thanks for watching. Please share this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Take care, God bless, and peace. Oh, and P.S. I almost forgot. Let's have one more moment of silence for her stupidity before we're out. And now we're out. See you all in the next video. Later.